Black Forest cake is one of those recipes that turn out decadent, chocolatey, and the frosting on top adds in a very nice flavor to the cake. So in this recipe, I'll be showing you a very easy and simple way that you can bake Black Forest cake at home, and it's going to turn out spot on. For this recipe, I'm going to be using two 8-inch baking tins to make my Black Forest cake. If you don't have these tins, you can simply use a kg baking tin and the cake will turn out perfect. So in your mixing bowl, you're going to be adding in half a cup of margarine. Then using a hand mixer, you're going to fluff up your margarine until fluffy. You'll start off by preheating your oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Next, you're going to add in your sugar. That is 1 1/4 cup of sugar. Mix up using your hand mixer. When the margarine and sugar are fully combined, you're going to add in 3 eggs. Using a hand mixer over high speed, you're going to whip up your margarine, eggs, and sugar until the batter is very light and fluffy. And in between, you're going to use your spatula and scrape your bowl to make sure all the ingredients are getting fully whipped up. When you whip up the eggs, margarine, and sugar until very fluffy, you create air pockets in the batter, hence you're going to have a very nice and fluffy cake. So that is going to take around 2 to 4 minutes. After whipping up my eggs, this is how the batter looks like, and as you can see, it's nice and smooth. So then the next step is to add in a 1/4 cup of cooking oil, which is also going to make the cake very fluffy. Mix in using my spatula. Then I'm going to be adding in some baking powder and baking soda, which are raising agents. So they are going to make the cake also very soft and fluffy. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, half a teaspoon salt, one teaspoon of vanilla essence, the vanilla essence is going to add in a very nice flavor to our Black Forest cake. So the next step is to add in my all-purpose flour with some buttermilk, which is going to create a very lovely texture to the cake because buttermilk will react with the baking soda. Hence, you'll have some very soft, light Black Forest cake. So I'm going to add in half of the all-purpose flour, and using my spatula, I'm going to fold into the batter, add in my buttermilk, fold in. Then I'm going to be adding in the rest of the all-purpose flour and buttermilk. Once everything is fully combined, I'm going to add in a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder and sieve in. Fold into the batter until fully combined. Since cocoa powder is usually very lumpy, you have to sieve into your bowl to avoid lumps. Once the cocoa powder is fully combined into the batter, you're going to transfer your batter into your already prepped up baking tins. So I'm going to eyeball and evenly divide the batter. The cake is going to turn out so good because the batter looks very delicious already. Make sure to scrape everything from the bowl. Then I'm going to evenly spread out the butter in the baking tins, just like this. And once everything is nice and leveled, you're going to be baking the cakes at 180 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. And if you're using a 1 kg baking tin, you're going to bake for 50 minutes. And to check if the cake is ready, you're going to insert a skewer in the middle of the cake. Once the skewer comes out clean, your Black Forest cake is ready to cool down. My cakes are ready. And they have turned out very perfect. As you can see, I love how spongy the top is. I'm going to let the cake cool for around 10 minutes in the tin. Then I'm going to invert so that the cake can cool completely. After 10 minutes, it's time to invert my cake. So I'm going to tap on my countertop for around 2 times so that the cake can release from the sides, just like that. And then carefully, I'm going to transfer into my into my cooling rack. The cake looks so awesome and it's very moist. Peel the parchment paper. There you go. The cakes are looking so good, very fluffy and moist. Wow. So I'm going to let the cakes cool for around an hour, or you can, if you're in a hurry, you can place in the fridge and let the cake cool for around 20 to 30 minutes. To make frosting for my Black Forest cake, I'm going to be using 1.5 cups of whipping cream that is chilled. Also, I'm going to be adding in some icing sugar to sweeten up my frosting. And to add in a very nice flavor to my frosting, I'm going to be adding vanilla essence. And lastly, I have some dark chocolate over here, which I'm going to be shredding so that I can fully decorate my cake once I'm done frosting. So in your mixing bowl, you're going to add in your whipping cream. Add in my icing sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla essence. Because your whipping cream is chilled, it's going to take you around 1 to 2 minutes to whip up the whipping cream until soft peaks over high speed using your hand mixer. It's time to frost my Black Forest cakes, which are looking very fluffy and soft. So using a turntable and a cake board, I'm going to add in a little bit of whipping cream, which is going to hold the cake while we frost. So carefully, I'm going to pick my cake and place on my board, making sure the cake is in the middle of the cake board. And then we are going to be crumb coating our cakes. So using a spatula, I'm going to scoop out some of the whipping cream, and using a palette knife, I'm going to spread my whipping cream on my cake as I turn using the turntable. Removing the excess. Then next, I'm going to carefully pick my next layer and place on top. The cake is very delicate, so be careful while placing on top. Make sure it's aligned with the bottom one, just like that. Yeah, perfect. Then I'm going to pick some more whipping cream. And using my palette knife, I'm going to level up the whipping cream on my cake. It's going to be very easy. But if you have never frosted a cake, it's going to take you a while. I'm making sure to go to the edges of the cake, just like that. Removing the excess. And once done, I'm going to go to the sides. Just like this. It's going to be very fast. And once done leveling up your whipping cream, you're going to be placing your cake in the fridge for around 20 minutes so that the first layer of whipping cream can set, so that we can finish off frosting our delicious Black Forest cake. After 20 minutes, I'm ready to fully decorate my Black Forest cake. So I'm going to scoop out some of the whipping cream and spread on the sides using my spatula. And it's going to be very fast because the crumb coating is set. Then I'm going to pick my palette knife and smooth out the top. Just like that. Very easy and simple. Next, I'm going to pick a piping bag, and using a scissors, I'm going to cut my piping bag a little so that I can place in my nozzle. And I'm using a star nozzle. Carefully place in my nozzle. And then I'm going to place in my whipping cream on the inside so that we can make some lovely decoration on top. Using my spatula, I'm going to push in the whipping cream. Just like that. And make a very lovely design on my cake. So I'm going to be making spiral movements, just like this. Use my turntable to turn my cake so that I can make the design. So I'm going to place my cake aside because I'm done frosting my cake. And then I'm going to pick my chocolates. And using a grater, I'm going to shred my chocolates in my plate. When you're done shredding the chocolate, you're going to top on the top of the cake, just like this. My cake is ready and it's looking very delicious. Love the frosting. Also, I love that I've topped up with some dark chocolates. Yeah, it's looking just perfect. So the next step is to try out my cake. So I'm going to use a knife, and I definitely know that the inside looks very wow. So using a serrated knife, I'm going to cut into my cake, and as you cut into the cake, you'll notice that it's very soft and fluffy, just like that. Pick my plate. Wow, just look at that. I definitely love how my Black Forest is looking, so I'm going to cut into pieces just like this, and yum, gorgeous. As you have seen, the cake recipe is very easy and simple with very minimal ingredients, and the outcome is some delicious Black Forest cake that is totally worth trying. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this decadent, very delicious Black Forest cake.